What's going on, NRW peeps? It is your boy Glenn Lawrence, and I am back once again with my homie brother from another mother, Kuya P. What is going on?
What is good, my Philly homie, Mr. Glenn Lawrence, Blurred Dad? What's up?
What's up, man? He's always ready to let off rounds. The blah, blah, blah. It's my favorite part of every episode. But this episode's going to be a little bit different. We are talking about something pretty amazing, something that I was super hyped for. Actually, I was a little bit skeptical because I didn't know how it was going to play out, but we're talking about Bel-Air. This is the remake of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but it's got a dramatic slant on it. Check out the trailer real quick so you can get a little feel for what's going on there.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
Yo, who do that? Was it you?
If you ain't about that murder game, nigga, shut up.
You could have been killed. You know that, right?
Where are we going?
To the airport. You're gonna stay with your aunt and your uncle.
What? Damn. Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? When I would've asked them all, y'all thought it was rented?
All right, so there you go. The trailer for Bel-Air. That's it. And let me tell you, we saw the first episode, and Kuya P, how awesome was the first episode before we get into it?
Yo, there was a pause. I was like, I didn't know what was happening. What am I doing? It was dope, man. I'm super excited. I want to give some shout outs to Allied Global, to Peacock, to NBC Universal. They gave us that advanced sneak peek, because if you're catching this right now, you're like, hold up. It's on tonight after the Super Bowl. What are you talking about? Yeah, we got the hookup. Thank y'all. We got to be part of the select press along with some amazing HBCUs to check out the first episode. And it was just really lit. It was really cool. And to see like these younger heads, because, you know, me and Glenn are a little bit older, so we are very familiar with it. But to have like these younger cats and they had like this chat going on to talk about it at the same time, to just kind of see their perspective on this. So a lot of fun. I was really digging it when the announcement came. It was a viral fan film that kind of spurred the moment on. Give a shout out to writer, director, producer of that viral fan film, Morgan Cooper, who also got down with this because Mr. Will Smith, the original Fresh Prince, caught the viral fan film, got with his production company, they mashed heads, got this Morgan Cooper cat, and that started the steamroll, and it happened, and I'm loving it. I was down there from the announcements. Shout out also to Tranquil Ashes on the NR Dub, who did some posts regarding all of this Bel-Air coming to be. And yeah, I'm hyped. And then when it came along to see it a little bit in advance, I had hit up Mr. Philly's own, Mr. Glenn Lawrence, to rock this with me. So I'm all in, because I was a big fan of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And now for this dramatic retelling, woo, so good. So
As you can see, I got my Diamond District, my Dr. J shirt on, you know what I'm saying, to represent a little bit. And you know, I don't know, I'm just overflowing with so much emotion because this was a great adaptation of something amazing. If you don't know what we're talking about The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which is the story of a young man gets in a little bit of trouble back home in Philadelphia, ends up flying all the way over to the West Coast, ending up in Bel-Air, and it's a fish out of water type of story, and they do an amazing job of turning that fish out of water story that was so comedic with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, taking off that Fresh Prince. We're taking off that Fresh Prince and making it dramatic, and now we have Bel-Air, a dramatic retelling, and it's just amazing. We got to see it with some HBCU students as well as other press. The chat was going crazy for how much people really enjoyed it, and I thought it was very, very amazing the way that they took homages to the old Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and brought it up to date with this new dramatic twist. I know you said that the opening really had your attention there, Kuya P. Talk a little bit about that. How you like what did you like about that flair of how they flipped it on the beginning?
I will. But I just want to say we're gonna do our best not to spoil anything because we really want y'all to enjoy it when it premieres tonight during the Super Bowl. But yeah, you're gonna get some nuggets, man. Like one of the most, and I think I'm also gonna give you stuff that I saw in the trailer. So one of the most iconic images when you ever start up an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is my man Will in the throne, not really a throne, but a very immaculate chair with like all the graffiti on the wall, some writings on the wall, and he got his crown on. So we see young Jabari Banks, man, who is our new Will in the chair, ready to take ready to take the throne. And yeah, so that there's that image. Then we cut from there. He's in bed, and then we're just going along the story that you already know. And again, I don't want to spoil it, but just the Philly love, and that's why I had to have Philly's own Glenn Lawrence. The Philly love is representing. I don't know the track that's on his ringtone that wakes him up out of bed to get his day
Freeway,
going.
man.
It was Freeway.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was Freeway. Yeah,
they played it later on too. I don't know if it's Freeway though. I want to say it's the other Philly cat that's just escaping my mind right now. The one who was locked up and then he got in jail.
Oh, Beanie Siegel. My bad, Beanie Siegel.
No, not even Beanie. It's not.
It's Beanie Siegel.
It wasn't Beans. I don't think,
what?
brother. It's
it was
it's the other cat. Now it's gonna be escaping me. Sorry, y'all.
Oh man,
we should have sat down and did a little bit.
That was the one part that we didn't go over right now. Is the music?
The music is fire.
Yeah,
you do get Beans. You do get Freeway. Because there's an assistant coach that I'll say makes an appearance that you do know, and I might have already just said the name, but an assistant coach is in there.
There you go.
But just the Philly love is representing. You see cats on bikes. You see the city to the fullest. And then we'll get into it later, but I'm sure my man Glenn, because he's behind the camera a lot of the time, the iconography of Philly and just the way they shot this amazeballs.
Yeah, there's so much. As soon as the episode starts, of course, you have the same plot that you got from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So if you know that plot, you will recognize a lot of the moments and the beats in this first episode. They stay so true to it. I was a little bit worried about how it was going to play out, trying to go from something that was done so well, because the comedy on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was done so well and the storytelling was done so well. It's like, how do you take that, change genre and go into drama? And they did an amazing job with it. And the first indication of that was the music and how true they stayed to the music. And then, of course, you got those opening scenes or whatever. The thing that I always think is hilarious is, in the beginning, it's always like, I got one little fight, my mom got scared. And when you see this dramatic retelling, you're like, whoa, that is not one little fight, bro.
Nah.
That was wild. So,
I think Will dialed it up a couple notches, which is something we'll talk about later. But yeah, I was like, hold up now.
Yeah, so the whole package was pretty immaculate. You're talking right now a little bit about Will. I think we should go into talking about a little bit about the characters and how they held this whole entire thing together so well, starting with Jabari Banks himself as Will. Does an amazing job from the moment that he is on the screen, on the chair, moving, fast to the course, the iconic scene where he's playing basketball and gets in trouble. He just does an amazing job of embodying this character, as well as this actor that we've seen so much. He had to embody the character of Will from Fresh Prince, as well as Will Smith, the actor who plays him. You know what I mean? He takes all of that on, and he just holds it all on his shoulders. Pretty amazing. What did you think about Jabari Banks and his performance as we started rocking out here?
All right, well, I'm going to correct you a little bit. We've seen him so much because he's the lead of this, but we haven't seen him a lot before. This is really this cat's first time really killing it. And out the gate, having to lead a whole show. Oh my gosh, this brother only graduated from the University of the Arts in Philly in 2020, y'all. So he literally hopped out of school and got the lead role in this brand new series that they filmed up. And bruh, as you said, Glenn, this cat kills it. This would have fell apart if he didn't come with it. And this brother came to play. And like you were saying and alluded to, I would love to see this brother maybe re-up some of Will's old hits, his old bangers, because he really can fit that mold. He has he really doesn't have to do the comedic slant to a bit, but just that charisma and that gravitas and the way he kind of carries the room. This young brother is got it in spades. So big shout out to Jabari Banks, who also beyond acting, I'm looking at some of my notes, is a songwriter, singer, rapper, and basketball player. And actually, I want to throw it back to you on that, Glenn, because you and I had a little bit of convo on that. This brother got some handles, don't he?
Yeah, it's so interesting. Whenever you see a movie or a film or a TV show, and the person's supposed to be playing basketball or doing some sport, and they can't actually play that sport, it's the most frustrating thing to see in all of these these vehicles, right, and all this media. Jabari doesn't do that. He can actually ball, and when you see them on the court and they're playing and going back, you get the sense that this is a person who knows how to play basketball. It doesn't look fake. It's not like, oh, he shot it and then they got to cut to this and then cut to this. So he actually looks like he could ball, which again, it just lends to the authenticity of Bel-Air. They do a great job of getting everything very, very authentic, man. It was incredible. The transition going from a comedic show all the way to this dramatic show was just handled so adeptly, starting, of course, with Jabari Banks. But let's not forget all the other actors that are in this, including his friend back in Philly, who's not Jazz. It's not Jazz who's his friend back in Philly. What's the name of his friend back in Philly?
I don't have his name. I don't have his name on that regard. So we're gonna have to give that brother a shout out in a little bit. I'll let you look that up real quick for me.
Right.
So, while you do that, let me go ahead and walk him through it then.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take him through the characters, Glenn. While Glenn looks that up, because we're gonna give Philly its love. When we arrive finally in Bel-Air in LA, the first cat we meet to bring us there, to take him from the airport to the Bel-Air mansion is Jazz. As we know from the past stuff, Jazz was in Philly, but now they've reimagined the character to be already in LA in Bel-Air. So that's cool, kind of cool, because then he'll automatically have that connection and interaction. And the new Jazz is played by Jordan L. Jones, who you know from Rel and Snowfall, and just does a phenomenal job. I'm gonna throw you back to you, Glenn. What did you think?
Trey, his boy Trey, who's played by Devontae Hart. Which I don't know if he's related to Kevin Hart. Maybe, you know what I'm saying?
All hearts ain't the same, brother.
All hearts ain't the same, but who knows? It is Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? He does have that Hart last name, so perhaps. But Devontae Hart, who plays his friend, and from that connection, you get they're boys, they're real, they're good. There's a connection there. It's a strong connection. You get his camaraderie. You get the fact of how loyal he is to his boy as he is going through all the turmoil that comes with just being from Philly, being from, the streets and having to deal with all the altercations that come with that. You get the closeness between them. I think Trey does a good job. Trey, his friend Devontae does a good job playing Trey and being his friend and getting you that connection. That's the very first step of figuring out that, okay, this is the character that we got. Will, he's cool. He's, with the boy. And then once he has to jump over to Philly, because, there's that transition from going from Philadelphia to Bel-Air, and the first person we're introduced to is Jazz. And as we know, from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Jazz was his friend from Philly who came to visit. In this, they switch it up a little bit. Jazz is now basically the driver, first person he meets in Bel-Air, and they kind of get connected that way. That's a amazing kind of little side story there, and you just know, as someone who comes from Fresh Prince, watching that you're gonna see this character more, and it's like, okay, that's how Jazz is going to be in his life, in Bel-Air, because in the Fresh Prince, Jazz would come visit from Philly, and it's like, in a dramatic role, it's a little bit more realistic. How do you get this character who has so much to do with Will? How do you get him infused into the story? And again, it's just another great step in the adaptation of the comedic show to this one. And right into it, we get Will coming into this new environment, and we get introduced to the family, and it's almost like a rolling out of the welcome mat, with all these characters that we get introduced to. Like, first we come up and we see Aunt Viv, and we're like, okay, all right, Aunt Viv. And then wait, you're shaking your head. Who's the first one?
No, bro. I'm gonna bring you back. So I'll take us through the characters. After Jazz, we pull up to the gates and we meet the new
Jeffrey,
played by Jimmy Akingbola, who you know from The Most Dangerous Game and In the Long Run. Go ahead, talk about Jeffrey there, bro.
Okay, well, I was just talking about how all the characters get rolled out to us and how they come to us in chronological order. Yes, Jeffrey is the first one who comes in. He's amazing. He does an amazing job at portraying Jeffrey, and he has a lot of gravitas to him. You know what I mean? Like you get this character who was very comedic, of course, in the other series, and you get Jeffrey now, and he's like, there's like a weight to him all of a sudden. And you're like, okay, who is this dude? Like, what has he got going on? I love that. I soaked that all up. He just has something to him. You were saying that you thought he might come from kind of like a clandestine agency or something, right?
Well, he does have some smoothness to him. He has like gravitas. I echo all of those statements, bro. And I would say, and it's also partially due because I saw this comment in the chat that again, we watched this with a bunch of young HBCU cats and other press, and there was a fire comment that really got me playing in my head because we are doing a dramatic kind of take on this. They're like, yo, what if Jeffrey is like MI5 and stuff? And that just had me thinking all kinds of like Alfred and Batman. And, you know, because Alfred supposedly was MI5. Why not Jeffrey being like MI5, you know, secret spy? He's head of security. He's the butler, but to a whole nother degree. Why not? So I thought that was a dope comment, and it had me kind of like forecasting things in my head, or just, you know, coming up with my own stories in my head, and I loved it. But brilliant actor, and Jimmy Akimbola. I can't recall all the other projects. It mentions Most Dangerous Game and In the Long Run, but I'm not too familiar with those films. So I am going to look into Jimmy's other work, because I do recall seeing him in other stuff, but just overall, great actor, great way he carries himself, and great tone, and welcome addition to be like a 2.0 of Jeffrey.
Yeah. So the what you call it, the adaptation of that character is great, because they live in like a big complex or whatever. You would have security there. Like, of course he would be, you know, probably part of security, maybe even head of security, since he knows so much about the family, does so much or whatever. Another comment that was in the chat was like, yo, Jeffrey might be able to help you hide a body. Like that's the energy you were getting from it. Like, yo, you got a problem, I definitely would solve it. So that was great. And again, it's just, you know, a great adaptation there. Now, because I don't want to mess up the chronological order, who was the next one that we had?
All right, here we go. The next one we're walking up into the house. We get Coco Jones as Hillary Banks. You know her from Let It Shine and Vampires versus the Bronx. And I'm just gonna say there was a moment, y'all, for all my peoples out there, when she does walk away from them, and they let the camera stay there so we could watch her walk away. Shout out to Coco Jones. Go ahead.
But her performance was amazing, right?
Oh yeah. Of course.
As Hillary was on point.
Can't even walk away.
So it was just great. And as soon as she comes up and you realize that it's Hillary, it's like, wow, you get that nostalgia or whatever, and you definitely feel it. Like nothing feels forced. It feels so correct in the story. It also feels correct in the adaptation from everything that you've seen before. And she gives you that love. You feel that love, that like cousin bond, like, oh my goodness, it's my cousin. She takes him in, you know what I mean? She gives him kind of the lay of the land. She gives him the clothes off her brother's back, of course, so he could go, because they got a party coming up that they got to check out. So that was phenomenal, right? Just seeing that, how he's brought into the family. And from the very beginning, you do get a sense that this is a family, right? Like you could get a sense that, okay, this guy just came into this whole new environment. Everybody's kind of against him, but you get a warmth as soon as he's dropped off by Jazz and being picked up by Jeffrey, brought into the house, talking to Hillary. You get that warmth, man. And that warmth continues with the next character, who is
Vivian Banks, played by Cassandra Freeman. You know her from The Enemy Within and Atlanta.
Yeah, so
shout out to Aunt Viv.
Aunt Viv is the next person you see, because now they're at the party hanging out. Aunt Viv, amazing. She does a great job. You definitely get the matriarch feeling from her. She definitely feels like she's in control of the family and whatnot, and very welcoming to Will when he gets there. Again, throughout all of this, Will is doing his thing, you know what I mean? Interacting and connecting with people. You really get a sense of who he is as a character, and it just shows more as we're unrolling and unfurling all these other characters. So then he gets the new Aunt Viv. Next, we get the new
Carlton Banks is in the house from Ali Sholotan. You've seen him in Run, Hide, Fight, as well as the evolution of Nate Gibson. Ali Sholotan.
Listen, I love what we're doing now. Now it feels like we got the Harden to Embiid connection. You know what I'm saying? Like the brand new Philly connection. We're doing it. The pass offs and the layups and the Kuyapi is dunking them. Yeah. So that's right. We get Carlton coming in. He starts off, and you don't know what the relationship's going to be. Is there going to be a little animosity? Is it going to be, straight up brothers from the beginning? And yeah, we get the feeling at first there's a little bit of around the, a little rough around the edges, and then it's like, okay, I'm cool. And Carlton shows them like, all right, we're going to be cool, we're going to be good. Now the adaptation to Carlton is great. That was another point that had the chat on fire, the new Carlton Banks. There's just so much there, and it's just embodied so well by Oli Sholatan, right?
Yes, sir.
It's embodied so well. He just bodies that character, and we get to see so many cool I guess windows into what is going to happen in the future, because we're thinking about all those past episodes, like, oh, I remember the one where he was dancing, oh, I remember the one where he did XYZ. You could just see those, and you see this character in it. I was a little bit worried when I first saw it, because I was like, he looked a little bit more African as opposed to black to me, so I was like, but as we started watching it, I was like, yeah, this is going to rock. He's part of the same family. You know what I mean? These people, they're all together. You know what I mean? Like they're all part of the same family here. So we get to see that. He has to go in a little bit on Will for taking his clothes and whatnot, which I thought was great. I mean, what did you think about their dynamic when they got together?
Oh, it was dynamic, and it's got me so intrigued with how the rest of the series are going to play out. And as we'll talk a little bit as we dive in a little bit more, although we're going to avoid spoilers for this first episode, it really has me on point, and how that dynamic is going to work. So I can't talk too much without a spoiling, but I'm all about it. I'm all in. Great casting on both, and all around thus far. Again, this is a stellar cast.
Yeah, stellar cast. And there's definitely going to be a moment in this first episode where people are going to be talking. They're going to be talking about Carlin. They're going to be talking about the interaction. This is definitely going to spark a lot of controversy and a lot of conversation within the culture, man. And I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it to come out, for people to see what I've seen and be like, whoa, okay. And, Bel-Air is the next thing that we're all kind of talking about. Speaking about next thing, the next person that we're introduced, we got to be introduced to the little baby sis, Ashley. She comes out there. Ashley was played by
Akira Akbar, who must be protected. You know her from We Can Be Heroes, as well as Captain Marvel. She was the young one in Captain Marvel, who you remember, who then became a lot older in WandaVision with a new actress, but just so sweet. And it blew me away when I was looking at the breakdown afterwards, and to realize, oh yeah, that's the same actress that was in Captain Marvel, because I thought she was so precious in Captain Marvel. And now seeing her in here in Bel-Air, she must be protected at all costs. Just a sweetie, Akira Akbar. Shout out to her.
I wonder if we're going to get a little flashback, in the next Marvels thing, to see when she was like younger coming up, because she had some beef with Captain Marvel for leaving that whole situation. I wonder if we're going to see Akira in the next Marvels, but that's it for another video. So yeah, man, Ash came in. She must be protected at all costs, of course. She was great. And things start progressing, and this season seems like it's going to pick up to some things that happen a little bit later in the seasons of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, because we're getting Lisa. We're getting a little bit of a love interest in there. We don't know how it's going to play out, but we're getting Lisa, who's played by
Simone Joy Jones, who you know from The Chair, as well as What If. Yes.
We know her voice from What If, and now we get to see her. We get to see her beautiful face, and it's great. It creates a little animosity. There's a little bit of tension there. There's a little love triangle. We're going to see how that all plays out. Again, we're trying not to spoil this. We're just giving you the rundown of how amazing this was. Cast, of course, was amazing. Everybody played their part. Everybody comes into this thing just really doing their best work. And you can see it from the camera work to the music, the direction, everything.
I also want to add, you said what if the voice, what if is a new film coming out from Billy Porter. This ain't the what if Marvel. I know y'all see the Marvel, and I think Glenn got confused. Put two and two together.
You shake me, Kuya.
You what if doesn't
you
mean
got the
what
Marvel
if, but
shirt.
I think you just saw the visuals, but yeah. So shout out to Billy Porter and shout out to Simone Jones. You'll see Bill and What If is coming soon. That film isn't out yet, but she's starring in that with Billy Porter. But we missed a very key character or unless you were going too fast for me and quicksilvered on me, there was one other character at this party.
The main
guy, bro.
You got to see
Phillip Banks.
Yes,
you know him as Adrian Holmes. You've seen him on At the Age as well as V Wars. So shout out to the new Phillip Banks. There was some commentary on this new Phillip Banks. What do you want to say about that, Glenn?
Well, I think overall, we'll just say I thought that all the characters, you can see them as their former characters, right? A lot of it wasn't out of place, except for Carlton for me. The one problem that a lot of people were talking about is, oh man, Uncle Phil's skinny now, which I didn't have a problem. But this guy, Adrian Holmes, comes in and he definitely has the weight, I will say, of Uncle Phil in terms of like the gravitas he brings to the role.
Strong presence.
Strong presence. And I think it's going to be great. You get the sense that he definitely is caring for Will. He's protective, but he's also careful to protect what he's already built with his family as well as with his career. You get all those little notes just from his small interactions with Will, and the few scenes that he has in this first episode. You definitely get that, and you know that it's just going to unfold more as the episode goes on. There's some really, really cool things that are going to happen. Like we said, we're not trying to spoil too much of it for you, but Uncle Phil, he was one of my favorite parts of the episode, because I just love that, the matriarch, the father of the family who's holding all this thing together, whatnot, and the turmoil that he goes through and trying to figure out, how do I take this youth in? How am I going to mold him? How am I going to help him? How am I going to protect him even from himself? So that was all amazing and great to see. Can't wait to see what unfolds as the season progresses. Who else were you thinking about, or who else did you want to talk about from the show? That's it.
It was just the character rollout. Yeah, the main characters. That I can't recall any other sidebar characters offhand.
Okay.
This was a great introduction to characters we knew and refashioned and given us. I hate to say 2.0 or 3.0 because I don't want it to seem like we're disrespecting the originals. The originals are legends. We love all the characters that played before. But now for this new series, reimagining these characters, I thought they just did brilliantly in casting every single one. And I
thought you might bring out a couple of the dudes from the locker room, some of those Connors, Tyler, some of the white dudes for the locker room, because they are going to make some interesting foils for Will, as well as dealing with Carlton and everything. That locker room scene definitely was, I think, a scene that a lot of people are going to be talking about there. So those characters are going to be very, very interesting to see how they unfold and how they kind of pepper the story a little bit there.
Got you. I don't know, but I didn't know the characters by actors as we were just doing. So I couldn't name it by actor or character. I don't recall the name. So
okay,
yeah, for that particular scene, that was a wild scene. That will be probably one of the most talked about scenes, I'm sure, once people all see this.
Yeah, man. And they, I thought that the interplay was great. Even the final scene or whatever, the final party that they go to, I thought that was really interesting, how they're all going to kind of interplay when you get them, all these high school kids together, at a party. How is that going to go? What is the new social ladder that Will's going to have to climb, that he's going to have to deal with, and how is that going to affect the rest of the family? I'm very, very interested to see that as well. So final thoughts, man. Final thoughts on Bel-Air. What do you think? It's airing after the Super Bowl, Sunday the 13th. It's going to give us 3 episodes up front. What are you thinking, man? What do you think about this?
I am so hyped. We only got to see episode 1, man, and I'm dying to see it again. and then the fact that I'm going to get 2 more on top of that, I am invested. I am with it. If I didn't have a Peacock subscription, as you see from the image that is my background right now, then I would be calling up, or actually you don't need to call up anymore. I would be logging online and I would be subscribing to Peacock because, there's certain tentpole type of shows that make you get a type of service, right? It was the Game of Thrones for HBO. It was maybe The Boys and the Miss Maisel for Amazon Prime. Stranger Things for Netflix. Bel-Air is definitely a tentpole type of show that'll make you want to subscribe and get that because you're not going to want to miss an episode. Oh, Power was for what was that? Showtime, Stars. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of show that is going to be can't miss, must see TV because everybody, the culture is going to be talking about it. And I absolutely loved it. I'm all in. And now that we're going to get 2 more episodes tonight for Bel-Air during the Super Bowl. And then if you don't have Peacock after the Super Bowl, you're out of luck. So that's why you got to subscribe to Peacock because this isn't going to be on regular TV. It's only on tonight during the Super Bowl to help promote it, help showcase it. And you're going to need to get that subscription so you can keep watching Bel-Air. I think it's dropping like every Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Going back to my notes, weekly. Let me see the frequency real quick. Do you have it in front of you real quick?
It doesn't say the frequency. It says every Thursday. Yeah.
There we go. Every Thursday.
2 episodes every Thursday.
Every Thursday. You got to dial in, man. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be so good. And so I already got the plug. So I know I'm already keyed in. And I love it. Brilliantly casted, beautifully shot. And I made this comment before to Glenn, as filmmakers, he and I are both filmmakers. If you're reimagining a series like they're doing with this, you got to kind of give everybody what they know off the top. So they know that you're taking care of the things that they love. You know what I'm saying? We've been granted the throne. I want to let the people know, hey, here, I'm going to do it. Here it is. We roll out the characters. We get that out the way. And then once that's out the way, you can really stretch yourself as a filmmaker, really stretch yourself as a writer, as a story. So now that they've done this, they've introduced the characters. Now they can rock with it. Now we get to see Morgan Cooper and the rest of the production team, the rest of the writers shine and do this. And actually, that just reminded me, shout out to my friend Rachel Lako, who's one of the writers on Bel-Air. I'm ready to see all of my friends do work on this and kill it. Super excited. They got an amazing cast. They've got an amazing film team filming it. Shout out to the DP and camera work. And from the writers that I've seen thus far, they're writing some amazing stuff because this first episode knocked it out the ballpark. So I am all in, Glenn Lawrence.
Yeah, man.
I'm reaching in my bag and I'm shooting it up in the air to just let everybody know you better check this out.
Oh man!
Shout out to Philly. They might kick me out of Philly because they're gonna send me to Bel-Air now because of that.
I'm having fun with this series, man, and I can't wait to see what they do. I just think of all the iconic moments, like Carlton and Will getting racially profiled, Will's dad coming through, like all those, funny moments, the talent show that they had to do, all those funny moments from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm very, very, or not even funny moments, just dramatic moments, just moments from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm so interested to see how everything is incorporated and adapted. If the first episode is any indication, they're going to do an amazing job, an immaculate job. And I can't wait to see what else we have to bring. I also can't wait to see what Jabari Banks does with this career, man, because he's taking
a young superstar, bro.
Young superstar, dude. We should see him in a lot of things. Like I said, he's taking on Will, the character, but also he's embodying a character played by one of the biggest actors in Hollywood, Will Smith. So those are some big shoes, some big Jordans to fill. But as you can see behind Kuya P, Jabari is filling them out quite nicely. You know what I'm saying? He's filling out those Jordans quite nicely. I'm very excited to see what the rest of the season has in store. Can't wait to see how everything is adapted. Like I said, if this first episode is any indication, it's going to be pretty amazing. And I can't wait to check it out every Thursday on Peacock. First 3 episodes, of course, after the Super Bowl. Now, Kuya P, tell them where they can find you, brother.
All right. You can find me, the Legend Kuya P, on Twitter, TikTok, and IG. And of course, my show, Pal Show, that is on the NRW and at Release Wednesday, where nerds rule the world. And you'll see me and Glenn and a bunch of our other amazing homies talking it up, talking about everything. So check us out. Give us a like and a subscribe. We'd appreciate it.
There you go. And then for me, levelupcomedy.com. Also, Glenn Lawrence Comedy on Facebook as well as IG. Glenn Levels Up on Twitter. That's where you can find me. Listen, y'all, watch the Super Bowl right after. Watch Bel-Air. Tell us down in the comment section what you thought of it. If you think we're on point, if you think we gave you enough, or if you think that we didn't mention some points in the first episode that we needed to mention, let us know. But thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the NRW checking out Bel-Air. Peace.
Next episode, we'll give you 100% more with Booger Sugar. You didn't think I was going to say that, Glenn. You didn't think I was going to say that, but I got it in there. I got it in there.
We out.
We out.
Don't